Now, before I explain everything that was happening, I do have to tell you a little bit more about Bethany herself, just so that you can get the full picture of who she was and what was going on. Bethany was born and raised in Texas. Growing up, she and her four siblings were homeschooled, and from a very young age, she was just incredibly smart and very inquisitive. She loved school, and her favorite subject was writing. After high school, she ended up getting a writing scholarship to the Southwestern University in Georgetown, Texas. And college was Bethany's first taste of the real world. It was the first time that she had been around a ton of teenagers her own age, the first time that she had been away from home for an extended period of time, and she was extremely determined to do well. And she did just that. She managed to excel academically and socially. The other most important thing to Bethany and to her family was her faith. Her religious beliefs meant a lot to her, and they guided her in her everyday life. She became part of a Christian club that was on campus, and through that, she found a core group of friends, which they didn't just talk about religion, they talked about other stuff too, and other members of the group also shared in Bethany's love of Harry Potter, and that's something they bonded over. And that wasn't the only thing she found in this group. She also developed a crush, which maybe arguably was her first crush ever in life, given that she was homeschooled the majority of her life. And the guy who caught Bethany's eye was a fellow student named Tyler. Now, when anyone met Tyler, the first thing that they usually noticed about him was his height, because he was a very tall guy and then he had like some short, cropped in brown hair. But he also had this way of captivating people, captivating them in a way that just made them feel seen. So pretty soon after meeting Tyler, Bethany decided that he was absolutely the perfect guy. He checked a lot of the boxes of what she was looking for in a partner, too. He loved God. He was working on going on mission trips to help other people. He genuinely seemed like this super charismatic and kind person. I mean, it seemed like she hit the jackpot. He and Bethany continued getting to know each other more and more in this group setting. And then eventually, she introduced Tyler to her family. Now, Bethany was pretty much head over heels for Tyler from the very moment that they met. However, Tyler was a little bit slower to reciprocate those feelings. Apparently, he was super focused on a lot of other things at the time, the biggest being their religious club. He saw it as his personal mission to grow this group, so he was always trying to recruit new people to join. And because he was so charismatic, it worked. More and more students started showing up for the meetings and the group activities. Now, according to Tyler, he thought that the reason that this group was getting so popular wasn't because of religion, but rather it was because of him. He thought that people saw him as this spiritual leader, this, amazing person to look up to, and I have to say, it went to his head pretty quickly. Because when the group started getting more popular on campus, Tyler then deemed himself as the leader of the group, even though they didn't really have a set leader. It was just a shared group interest and activity. Yet he took it upon himself to identify himself as the leader and also lead discussions and prayer. Then, as time went on, Tyler started acting like he was chosen to be in a position of power within the group. And when he started to feel like he had that power, he did some very odd things around campus. Things like holding prayer sessions where he would claim to heal the sick and where he would start claiming that he was warding off evil spirits, which, this is probably a recipe for disaster, right? You have a charismatic man, a religious group, deems himself as the anointed or appointed, I don't know what the right word is, leader. The only thing that's missing before calling this a cult is long hair, right? I mean, he had short, dark hair, but if he had long hair, it would read cult all over it. He also started telling the group around this time that they needed to come together and pray even more than they already were. And his reasoning was that because the more prayer they did, the more miracles would happen around campus. And once that happened, more people would start joining their group. So the group listened, including Bethany, who still had this crush on him. And around this same time, two major developments occurred that would change the course of everything. First, Tyler started experimenting with various different titles for himself. I guess he no longer resonated with just being the group leader. He decided that he actually wanted people to call him something bigger. And I'm sure you know where this is going. He settled on the idea that he was a prophet. So screw the long hair. Now that you added the word prophet into the mix, it reads cult. Cult, 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 cult. And the whole prophet thing really wasn't the only major storyline in Tyler's life.